Good morning and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us here this Saturday morning for the Winner's Circle, as we are every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. Myself and Anika, I think we're saying Sammy Joe. I think the last night's Friday night fights get him in. He's probably sleeping it off.
Yes.
So we have 3 shows to review from this week. We have Dynamite from the 17th on Saturday on its normal night, which was the second night of Beach Break, or I guess the Collision episode of Beach Break.
Yes.
And then we have Dynamite from this Wednesday, and then the special episode of Collision on Thursday, which was the Collision plus the Double or Nothing countdown show. And when I went to watch the replay on Max, it kept saying Collision versus Collision plus Double or Nothing countdown show, and I'm watching it, and it's like 2 hours, and I'm thinking, okay, so Collision's only gonna be like an hour, and I'm like an hour and 15 minutes into the match, is the final match, the main event is barely ending. I'm like, what? So, okay, I guess it is what it is.
Listen, like I'm still trying to get used to the DVR of it all, because if you're not there, and I try, I'm like, okay, let me the next show after AEW Dynamite is Modern Family. Let me record this, and it's like, okay, we'll give you the old. I don't want the whole series. I just wanted this one in particular where it overruns. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, DVRs used to be able to easily add 5 minutes or whatever, and it seems harder now. So,
well,
a lot of them will let you do it, especially live events or whatever. It's weird. So
the last DVR I had that did it was, unfortunately, DirecTV. And DirecTV is a cable service, so streaming streaming services. I need you to catch up.
Yeah. So, before we crack into it, if you're gathered with us here today, we appreciate you being here. If you're new to the Workhorse Wrestling Network, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. Hit the like button on this video. Hit the bell on the YouTube channel. That's the best way to make sure that you're notified every time we put something up on the YouTube channel. If you're here with us on Twitch, we appreciate you. Give us a follow over there. Unfortunately, we can't see your comments on Twitch over here at Restream. But if you come over to the YouTube channel, you can comment and interact with us. We love to hear what you guys have to say, what you thought about this week's Collision shows, Dynamite and AEW, just in general, going into Double or Nothing tomorrow night, which should be an interesting show. It seems like they've taken a little while to get all the matches in place, but they seem to be all in place now.
A little while.
Sorry, a long time. They waited till the last minute to get some matches in place. Let's put it that way. So I guess, without further ado, let's get into Dynamite from last Saturday, the 17th, which was the Beach Break episode of Collision. And let's see. So just for the sake of trying something a little bit different, I'm going to give you the results of the night, and then let's talk about the ones that stood out for you. How's that? And then we'll talk about those. And then any ones that stood out for me. So Megan Bain defeated Anna Jay with the Fates Descent, which was a solid match, but it was good.
Yeah.
We had Kyle Fletcher beating AR Fox with the Brain Buster. Brody King, Ishii, and Bandito defeated Roppongi Vice or the Don Callis family. Yeah, Roppongi Vice, and was it Josh Alexander? I forget who it was that was with. But we'll tell you in a minute for sure. Mike Bailey defeated Blake Christian with a tornado kick. Big Bill and Brian Keith defeated the Gates of Agony with choke slam. The Sons of Texas defeated the Crew with Sammy Guevara hitting the Go to Hell, I guess it is, with on Action Andretti. I mean, it says GTH. I'm trying to remember. Is that what it actually is? It Go to Hell? Okay. And then Powerhouse Hobbs defeated Wheeler Yuta with the Spine Buster. So which ones did you want to talk about? Which ones stood out for you? Which ones you want to...
So, for a women's sake, because that was the only women's match on the show.
Which is a shame.
Megan Bain versus Anna Jay. Anna Jay is still a, what you call it? not a mystery, but an anomaly. It's like she doesn't suck, but how do we get her to be better than just okay, you know? And more so, I guess, like reps, maybe consistency. But like, it wasn't like she's been hurt. Like she's been like she couldn't, to my knowledge, I think maybe she's been hurt once. But I think the other time she's not been on television, like, she just not been on television. But she's been there consistently. So it's like, what is the missing piece to her? It might be Harley Cameron, but I don't care how this sounds. I don't want there we go. I don't want all of Holly Cameron's energy to be focused on how to make Anna Jay better. So it's like, okay, let her hang out with her for a little bit, but after that, oh, it is what it is. But he said, great match. Megan Bain. I'm not sure what we do with her next because Mercedes Moné is still TBS champion. I don't think she should be AEW World Heavyweight Champion just yet. But it's like, okay, we got to do some strategizing. We got to get that belt off of Monet and put it on someone, and put it on a baby face and put it on Megan Bay.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought the match was solid. I mean, for what it was. I mean, it was basically a Megan Bain showcase in many regards. So in that case, it was still solid. She looked really good. Yeah, Anna Jay is one of those, I'm starting to kind of have maybe another kind of mindset about these things. We always talk about why certain people maybe don't get over, where the disconnect is, what they're missing. And I've come to the conclusion that maybe there are just some people that just don't, I don't want to say have it because that sounds terrible, but just they're where they're going to be. That's just what they are. They are what they are, right? And not every person can be a Jon Moxley, a Will Ospreay, a Mercedes Moné, whatever the case may be. There, for every one of those, there's probably 5 to 10, 100 that are not those. You know what I mean? And still professionals. So, I mean, Anna Jay is what she is, I think, at this point. I don't know that, even with a ton of reps, she's going to just magically be a better wrestler. I mean, I think she can improve upon what she does, but I'm not sure that she just has that natural whatever it is. So, which is fine. Not like I said, not a lot of people do. That's why there's the best of the best at the very top, and those are the amazing ones, right? That have that little extra whatever. So, but yeah, what they do with her long term is interesting, and from what I've seen, it looks like Harley Cameron may have that potential to be very, very special. And I definitely don't want her to be, I don't want to say Anna Jay Vortex because that's a terrible thing to say because it's not. But like, I don't want her to be hindered at all or like you said, the energy that should be going to Harley Cameron going to Anna Jay because for whatever reason, they think Anna Jay should be the one being pushed, maybe because she's the veteran and whatever. She's been there longer, I don't know. But the reality is that at this point, Harley Cameron is both better on the mic and in the ring than Anna Jay has ever been. So, I mean, it's, you can only, my opinion, you can only keep the special ones down so long. And, and so I don't know. I think you got to get out of the way of Harley Cameron and let her do her thing. And yeah, as Anna Jay goes, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what they do with their long term and probably nothing. I mean, this is probably her wheelhouse. Maybe every once in a while they'll have a little feud for her and something, but this is probably her wheelhouse. I think that they thought she'd be a really good addition to the Dark Order, and then obviously that fell apart, right? So, I don't know.
No, I agree. And I know the last comment was like she's still in her 20s, right? So that's another discussion. Like, how long do we give her, right? Like, they're still pretty. Like, it's not like they've been like in the business for 8 or 5 years. It's like, nah, this is theoretically still new to her. So it's like, we'll give her a little bit more time. Not sure how much time that means, but she still deserves more time just to see.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Fletcher Fox was a lot of fun. Not going to talk a whole lot about it, but it was a lot of fun. I mean,
it was definitely fun.
It's fun watching. I mean, I know a lot of people don't necessarily care for Kyle Fletcher at the moment because he's doing a really good job as a heel, and so people are like, but watching him grow as a singles wrestler over the last few years, and even just in the last 6 months. I mean, the dude is he's getting better every single time you see him in the ring.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, him versus AR Fox, and I love AR Fox. I'm disappointed that he gets used a lot of times just to take the loss, but at least he's getting
Yeah.
some television time and looks good. I wish they saw more for him, but again, I guess some people are just where what they are, I suppose, for whatever the reasons are. So
Beggars can't be choosers, so he's like, at least like no, no, honestly, at least he's giving TV time, and hopefully, like that'll give. As long as he's on TV, we have time to put him in the right position because he should be on our
yeah,
TV. He should be on our TV. And like you said, Cal Fletcher, yeah, he just like you said, it's one of it's like we can't hold him back for so long. So it's like when do we finally let him win a championship? Not the big one, but a championship.
yeah. I thought the street fight was fun. Yeah, they did a good job with the weapons and the barbed wire, and I thought that the big guys looked really good. I thought they all looked good. Brian Keith held his own with guys that are a lot bigger than him, at least height wise. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Brian Keith's a solid dude, but like, I mean, solid, build wise, but like, he's pretty short. So like, definitely the Gates of Agony tower over him. I'm not surprised. I don't want to say I'm surprised that Big Bill and Brian Keith won because they've been the ones that have been on TV more often and in theory getting the push over the last 6 months to a year or even a year and a half under Jericho. So I guess it doesn't surprise me, but it felt like they were trying to maybe really warm up the Gates of Agony. So I almost thought they might get the win here just to kind of, but it is what it is. Either way, I liked the street fight. I thought it was fun.
It was so good, and like you said, our surprise that Big Bill and Brian Keith won is not that they're not good. It's just like they don't need this win like Gates of Agony needs this win. Gates of Agony needs this win. And you know what? It's gonna be it's crazy. A year or two ago, it's like the women's division. We're like, when is the women's division finally what you call it? I'm finally gonna get some push. So I'm finally gonna get some attention. And now it feels like that conversation has moved towards uh the tag team division. It's like, wait, okay, y'all need to put some attention to this. Y'all actually need to put some thought into this and not just who's gonna be champ. The champs have to face somebody, and the people they face have to look credible. They can't look like scrubs. And for that to happen, they have to beat people. And like I said, we've already seen Brian Keith and Big Bill beat people. It's Agony needed this win. So it's like you have to pull the trigger. You have to let them win something. So it wouldn't. So hopefully in the meantime, between time, okay, sorry, my work, but the thoughts come to my brain and I'm trying to figure it out. And it's like you know who you want to push. My mind went to Megan Bain. It's like, okay, you know you want to push her, so she's not losing. So it's like, why? How can you not? Why is it so hard to keep that same energy to other groups? Like more so, okay, so you know how to push somebody. They can't lose, right? So if you need more tag teams, credible, they can't lose. So why does 2 plus 2 don't equal 4 in every freaking aspect of this company? Like,
Yeah.
it's like
No, those are all fair questions and issues. I
like
mean,
I love Big Bill and Brian Keith, but they already got beat by her syndicate. And I'm not sure when you're gonna do I'm not sure when you're gonna do FTR versus her syndicate, but it feels like it's gonna be another minute. So if you need you need one more person to go against her syndicate, they need to win. Just say
what do you think about Hobbs and Yuta being the main event of Collision?
it was fine. Like it was alright. Like it was cool, but it was like I get it. I get it in the aspect of Anarchy in the Arena's coming, but crazy enough, even though Yuta and Will Hobbs have been here for a minute, uh, they're still not main event worthy by themselves. There we go. That's the word. If they were with other people, I can understand. but just Big Bill and Willer Yuta. Sorry. Just Will Hobbs and Willer Yuta as main event. It's like, yeah, they're not there yet, and I need y'all to acknowledge that they're not like to be competing against each other. If it was Yuta versus Samoa Joe, sure. If it was Will Hobbs versus same picture, John
Moxley or
sure.
right, yeah.
But them by themselves is no. I'm sorry, but no.
Yeah, and I was honestly surprised that even though there was a little bit of action when Shafir came in post-match and then Willow came down, there really wasn't a whole lot for the main event spot. I mean, for these two, I thought when there was these two in the match that it was going to be a lot of after-match stuff and we get everybody in the ring. You know what I mean? But it really didn't come. It really didn't happen that way. So I was kind of surprised. Yeah, you know, I agree. I mean, it's if Tony really wants the shows to feel equal, then he needs to book Collision better. You know, I mean, it's.
And he's done a good job, but this week it was just like you weren't paying attention, you weren't focused on it.
And it's not even necessarily that there's anything wrong with Hobbs versus Yuta at all. It's just the placing of it in the main event. I mean, you could have put. Me personally, I probably would have put Brody King. I probably would have put the trios match in the main event if it was me.
Yeah. Or the street fight.
Or the street fight. Either one of those. Yeah, either one of those.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite match of this show?
Even though I didn't like the result, the street fight was good. The street fight was so freaking good. Side note, one last little thing. My Speedball Mike Bailey was also on the show, and he beat somebody, but he called out Okada, and I'm like, sure, okay, fine. Like,
he did, yeah. I mean,
all right, cool.
I want to give the someone a little more credit. He was facing Blake Christian, who is a solid AEW wrestler.
He is, but no. Honestly, if you're not an indie person, if you don't know the indies, you don't know Blake Christian just yet. And and like comparative wise, they all came around the same time. We're seeing more of Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey than Blake Christian. Like, so we need to fix that. We need to fix that. But so
that's true. Although we have seen. I do like that Collision does show a lot of the guys that you don't necessarily get to see on Dynamite. So I do enjoy that. I thought, let's see, my favorite match of the night was probably Kyle Fletcher and AR Fox, just because I'm big on both of those guys. But there were several matches. I mean, to pick a best match, my favorite match was probably hard because I did really enjoy the street fight. And I also enjoyed the trios match. I thought I liked Brody King and Ishii and Bandito together. I like those three guys together. I like Bandito, and anytime I see Ishii, I'm always happy. So, and I am a huge Trent Beretta fan. And now that he's away from Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, and he's back with Roppongi Vice. And even though I'm not really a big fan of the Don Callis family, I am a fan of heel Trent Beretta. This for me is great to see Roppongi Vice. So I'm very RPG Vice. Sorry, they can't call him Roppongi Vice, or they're not calling him.
Whatever.
But so no, I mean I thought this was a solid episode of Collision. You know, again, for Tony Khan, who wants to have these, Dynamite and Collision to feel equal, there are times where they definitely don't. And there are times where it feels like Collision is clearly the B show. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I enjoy it a lot. It just, it's clearly obvious where the main event stuff still happens. And that's Dynamite, right? So until you change that with your booking a little bit, and I understand that, like, it's a double-edged sword because you don't want to put too much on a show that people aren't watching, because then there's a disconnect, right? People are going to be like, well, you're putting it on Collision and nobody watches it. What the fuck? But, like, the way, in my opinion, to get people to watch Collision, or to force them to watch Collision to a certain extent, is to make it the must-see TV that Dynamite is for Collision, or for AEW, right? Like, if you want to know what's going on in the world of AEW, you have to watch Dynamite. You can get by without watching Collision. You might have a couple moments where you're like, oh, I didn't realize that was going on because it happened on Collision. But like you can get by with just watching Dynamite. You can't get by with just watching Collision. And it needs to be that you can't get by with just watching either one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be where you have to really watch both. You have to force people to go to watch Collision. Whether they will or not, you have to be okay with that. But you still have to try to force them over there, So
I would just say, like once every full moon, like you gotta pick something you gotta put on there. It's like, all right, let's try today, and it's also like you said, it's all about strategy. Like this is still beach break, so this is probably one of the only times where it's like, okay, let's try to put something solid on Collision as the main event to see. So like this is beach break. It ain't like it's a regular Collision, it's beach break. So at least have beach break have something special on it.
Yeah, and that being said, I almost forgot that. Now that you're mentioning that again, I'm thinking, what kind of grade am I going to give this show? The fact that it is a beach break episode of Collision, it should be better than it normally is. Should have better booking and some better matches, and Hobbs and Wheeler Yuta in the main event has even less impact now that it's a beach break. Remember that it was a beach break special Collision. So let's see. I'm going to give it there was nothing terribly egregious. It just needs to be more or rework the card a little bit. Like I'm gonna give it a B minus. It's in that B range because it was the main event was a little disappointing for a beach break episode. Maybe it didn't have the luster of a beach break episode. If it wasn't beach break, I'd probably give it a B. But because it has a little beach break emphasis on it, I think it goes down to a B minus for me.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. There's nothing, like I said, there's nothing egregious about what happened. It was just there. It wasn't anything like I'm gonna say it was missable, but you definitely didn't have to watch it live. So I'll definitely say that. You definitely didn't have to watch it live. So yeah, I'll give it a C plus.
Ooh, C plus. All right. So you went a grade lower than I did.
Yeah. And then side note, I love they did a nice tribute to Steve Steve Michael, the man from the Bears that retired. He actually like I didn't know he had that big of a wrestling career. I knew he was a Bear, one of the 85 Bears. I didn't know he had that big of a wrestling career though.
Yeah. No, he was, for what he was. When you look back on like athletes that have transitioned from a professional sport to wrestling, he's probably at the top of the list of having one of the more successful careers in wrestling after being a professional athlete like that. Yeah, Steve Mongo McMichaels was definitely a big deal. It's a sad loss. So, unfortunately, way too many wrestlers have gone, have died over the years. Luckily, early is all relevant. He's still early in life as far as he wasn't terribly old, but at least it wasn't in his 20s or 30s like a lot.
I think he had ALS too, so that also attached to it. It's like okay, he actually lived a decent life in regards of having ALS as well.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl and he was a successful professional wrestler. Life for him was pretty good, I would imagine, right, for the most part. Until of course he got sick. So rest in peace, Steve McMichaels.
Crazy bastard. Oh, he was a crazy bastard. I don't know the rest of the year, but on the field, that nigga was crazy. that white dude was crazy. It's like talking about Deion Sanders. Now y'all had some white dudes that were crazy too. They didn't like to listen to nobody. But he gave.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
But he gave my daddy Bears a championship, so I can't fault you, baby.
Yes, he did.
The crazy work.
Yes, he did. The Bears were really good.
Yes, he did. Okay.
In the 80s, especially 1985, around those years. So, all right. So, Dynamite from Wednesday. You want to lead the kind of shorter talk?
I got this. All right. So we're doing a rundown version of Dynamite. It starts off with a promo, a conversation. I don't say promo battle, a promo conversation between your Owen Hart finalist, Ospreay and Hangman. So we're definitely gonna talk about this later, but for time we're just gonna pass through it. It was great, and basically it was an honorable conversation. They're like, listen, no matter what, it ain't, there's no mal. There we go. There's no malice. There's no malice. And whoever wins, we got you back because we're gonna bring home the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Drink a beer, walk away. That was good. Good. And then our first match was a trios match, which was so deliciously good. Okay, it was so deliciously good. It was on the one side we had Swerve, Will Hobbs, and Samoa Joe versus the Young Bucks and uh John Moxley. the Collision. Listen, this is so hard. Like I said, Collision was good, but Dynamite was way better. But I'm going to we're going to stick to the script. I'm going to tie my hands. I'm just going to tell you what happened. The Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Hobbs won. There was some shenanigans and craziness afterwards that we'll talk about later. And then after that, we have the Hurt in the Kid segment where we're finally putting pen to paper. It's official now. It's official. Just MJF is part of the Hurt Syndicate, and then the Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara come in, and they officially beat the Crew, as we said, on Collision. So they are the number one contenders on Double or Nothing. That's the match we're going to get. We're going to get Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. Sure. Okay, and then we have a cute little backstage segment with Okada, who was officially accepted to keep up with Billy Nash. It was cute.
No,
What?
he hasn't accepted. I will not accept the match. I issue my own challenge to Mike Bailey. Okada's stupid.
Is he growing on you? Is he growing on you? Is he growing? Sorry. All right. Fast pace. And then we have Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet. Ricochet wins by shenanigans. Boo. Whatever. And then next up, it is very.
You don't have to you don't have to micro machine manage it. You can.
Shenanigans. And then after that, he tries to beat up Anthony Bowens, but Mark Briscoe comes out with a stretcher. Their match is a stretcher match. Okay, that's what you want to do that with Mark Briscoe. All right, cool. That's on you. You got it. You got it. And then next up, another backstage segment with FTR and Stokely Hathaway, which was so good. Eventually, they're calling out Danny Garcia and Nigel McGuinness on Collision to have a final face-to-face for their match on Double or Nothing. And then we have a face-to-face with our women's on Heart Cup finalists. We have Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné talking about why they're going to win. And again, it was a very great promo. We talked about they needed to put like not more stakes, but definitely more stank on their match of just like not just we're just gonna beat each other up. And so this actually did that well. And then here comes the person they're fighting to fight against, Tony Storm, to be in commentary for our main event, which was Mina Shirakawa versus Julia Hart. I did the song. Yeah, you have to sing the song when you say it. And so, of course, Mina beats Julia. She's going to face Tony, so why would she lose here? That would be really dumb. But yeah, she beats her, and then out comes Sky Blue. It's like, yes, they were a team. We'll talk about it later, but it's like when Sky Blue debuted, it's like, yeah, I get why you would, what's the word? You would put her in a Final Four in Chicago, but I would prefer that she would just come back with Julia. That makes more sense to me, right? And so that happened. When Sky Blue attacked, Tony Storm was like, I guess I'll help. So she comes in, she takes out Sky Blue and Julia, and Mina has the belt. They argue over it, and then they get into a scuffle. And Mina puts a figure four leg lock on Tony in the ring post and holds the championship high. And that was your go home show of Dynamite for Double or Nothing. All right, let's talk. Listen, that was so hard. That was so hard.
So first things first, it was a solid show. There was only four wrestling matches, which in a 2-hour episode means it's definitely talk heavy. Although they weren't necessarily the shortest matches. It wasn't like there were four squash matches and then an hour and a half of talking. But it is promo. It was a little promo talk heavy, which is fine for me. Like I enjoyed the Hangman Osprey stuff in the beginning. It's it is what it is. Again, I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of like the Love Fest promos, but it is what it is, where they just compliment how good each other are and whatever. Okay, that's fine. But and for me, Will Ospreay, as I've said several times, when he gets fired up, gets a little bit harder to understand. The combination of the grab the rocks in his mouth and the accent, he gets a little hard to understand. But he's still fun, and the energy itself is adequate enough to get over the fact that I'm only catching every third word. But no, it's a good promo. I mean, these guys are fine in the ring. I'm not a big fan of starting a show that way, but I'm bigger fan of starting a show that way than ending a show that way. So
actually, I agree with you on this one. I love a good let's hype it up with backstory and competition, but this felt hella talky. I'm like, y'all are talking. No, like it's like, listen, I love both of you guys. I'm excited for the match, but this felt hella talky. It was so many words. It was. Y'all could have cut some of. Y'all really could have cut some of this. It was like, what could you have cut? You could have cut You could have cut the what's the word? You could have cut Osprey telling the security guards to leave. That was an extra 2 minutes we didn't leave, right? And then so we went kind of through it, but I'm gonna just highlight what some of what they said. And so Heyman was like, he's like, I need this just to prove to you that the past 2 years wasn't for nothing. Like I was with my kids. I was with my family. I was just staring out the window like a freaking idiot. Like, okay, I think that paraphrasing and taking her own little artistic on what he said. Because I was just staring at the window like a freaking idiot. My kid's like, "What the frick is wrong with you, Daddy?" So I can't even tell him what the frick is wrong with me. But now I'm coming out of that hellhole, and it has to matter. And it's like, oh, and so and then that's when Oscar was like, "I get you, bro. This is bigger than you and me." Oh, that part. That's what I didn't like. They're talking Oscar talking about I asked Tony Khan and we're going to be the main event. And it's like, listen, I am so through with this talk about the main event of who's gonna be the last. The only time it mattered was when it was Revolution, and clearly it should have been Tony Storm versus Mariah May. We're not there anymore. Mariah May is gone. Tony Storm should not be the main event of this review, so I don't care. So you could cut that part out. I didn't care if you did Tony Khan and made this the last match. I don't care. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Whatever. So you could cut that part out. It's like, wait, who cares? Like, no, like maybe that's just me. But yeah, Anarchy or them, I don't care, because either way, it's the same thing. So either way, you're going to interact with each other. Okay. At the end of the review, you're going to interact with each other. So I don't care which one goes last, because you're going to interact with each other anyway. So it's like you could cut that part out. And then Oscar was like, no matter what, if I win, you win. Just let's have a gentleman's agreement. I got your back and you got mine to go against John Moxley. It's like, sure. It really is like, bro, I don't know you like that, bro. I like we just like literally you said yourself. We have never encountered each other until AEW and until the Owen Hart Cup. But now all of a sudden I gotta be your friend. Like go somewhere, bro. I'm taking liberties. I know, they whoever wins is gonna need help because Moxley has the Death Riders with them. But it's like, bro, I just met you. You want to make me? You want to force me to be by your side? I'm like, bro, I'm just saying. But yeah, some of most of it was good. You could take some of it out. And then I know you're not talking to the person, but the walk, but after they drink the beer and they're walking up the ramp and they're facing their picture and they look at each other and they walk away. And it's just like this is so dramatic. This is so dramatic. I know Andre said we're gonna have a shootout, bro. It's like it's fine, but it's like this is so dramatic. This was hella dramatic.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It was fine, but it was
it's fine. I mean, like you said, I mean, it's fine. I mean, yeah. But I agree with you on all the points you made. So, what about Moxley and the Bucks versus the Ops and Swervy? Obviously, this is a build-up. This is a go-home show or the go-home Dynamite for Double or Nothing tomorrow night. And this is, all these participants are going to be in that match. Oh, well, not the Young Bucks, I guess. The Young Bucks. Well, yes, they are. Yes, they are. They're all going to be in this match. No.
Yeah.
The EVPs aren't in the match, right? It's not the EVPs.
We don't know. Okay, to my knowledge, they still haven't told us who's officially
Oh, it is. It's the Bucks, Claudio, Moxley, Marina Shafir, and sorry, why am I drawing a blank on the last name?
Willow?
No. On the Death Riders side, it's the Young Bucks.
Gabe Kidd?
Yes, thank you. I was drawing a blank on his name. So it's Gabe Kidd, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and Marina Shafir versus Willow Nightingale, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland, Katsuyori Shibata, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Samoa Joe. What I really wanted to say.
What happened?
First,
okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
No. You froze a little bit, but you're back. Okay, yeah.
Okay. What I wanted to say was I understand this is your big story. This is probably going to be well, maybe it won't be, but it's a huge storyline for AEW. As I say, it's probably going to be your main event, but it might not be. Either way, it's a huge story for AEW. It's got a bunch of your main event guys in it. Let's put it that way. And I understand why Swerve is there. Swerve belongs to be there. At the same time, I feel kind of bad for Daddy Magic because I feel like he was there for a lot of it, and then he got pushed to the side because maybe he's not a big enough name to be in the Anarchy in the Arena match, and he sacrificed him for Swerve. So don't get me wrong. I'm happy Swerve is there, and it makes sense storyline for Swerve to be there. I just feel kind of bad for Daddy Magic because, it is what it is. But so, no, I mean, I thought this match was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, anytime you have these guys all in the ring, that you're going to get something good. And, the post-match stuff is fun too. So you knew that there'd be a fair amount of post-match stuff. And with this situation, you've got all the craziness, right? Everyone comes down to the ring. It ends up being a big melee. So, because you got to get basically 12 people now. I want to say 12 guys, but really it's 10 guys and 2 females, but 12 people, basically involved to build up the story. So they do a lot of that. Kenny Omega tries to put whatchamacallit through a table. He was going to do the one-wing angel in the ring, and then Joe and them were like, no, let's get the table. So they got the table out, and then it didn't actually happen.
It didn't actually happen, bro. It's like, why did it take like this long to set up a table? Y'all are all veterans. Y'all all been up in here. Like, move faster.
And I love how Hobbs had to come over and give the table a little bang at the end because he couldn't really get there in time.
Apollo rub. Like, what the frick?
He couldn't get there in time to help set it up or anything. He got there too late, so yeah, he had to give it to Rob. And like, what the
Like,
fuck?
yeah, I've heard this too. Yeah.
Don't forget about me over here. So no, I mean, I thought it was fun. Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede, War Games, they're fun. They're often not my favorite matches of whatever pay-per-view they're on, just because for me personally, when you have that many guys in a ring or that many people in a match, it's so hard to follow the action. And in this situation, it's going to be everywhere. And there's not enough cameras. And even if there are, it's too rapid to get between any of them. Anyhow, it's going to make you crazy if you try to switch. You don't get anything if you don't, so you got to kind of pick one situation or several and stay on them to see what happens. And then you lose track of everything else. So, there's nothing worse for me in general than watching a match and watching what I know are two people involved in a match, but I know there's a whole bunch of other stuff going that I can't see. It's like, come on. And I understand why, but it's like, So for me, these are never always my favorite matches. That being said, this should be fun. I mean, there's a lot of solid talent in the ring, probably the best talent in AEW in some regards. So, or many of the best guys in AEW. So it should be fun.
And like, I was gonna say, and no offense, but I keep forgetting that Kenny Omega's a part of this. It's like, what? It's like it feels like he's only I get he's going against the Elite. He's gonna get Okada, but it feels like we had to X someone out. I'm like, Kenny Omega really isn't in here like that. Like, y'all could have. That's just me. But yeah. That shenanigans. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. The match was so good. I was telling Sammy this, and I still stand by this. No one else can get caught up doing the tope suicida. If Samoa Joe, big 250 plus behind, can do a tope suicida clean through the ropes, I bet that the damn person a $150 get caught up. Y'all are not pointing y'all toes, or y'all not doing enough momentum. Samoa Joe can do a full-on tope suicida, but y'all $150 crackheads emotionally can't get through the ropes. The math ain't mathing. It's not. I'm sorry. It's not. But yeah, Samoa Joe was that. No, real talk. Samoa Joe was that dude in this match. It's just like every time he was in there, I'm like, I'm not sure if he was just on 10, but it was just like, can he, like, why isn't he not the champion again? I was here for Moxley winning, and I love the beginning of it too. When it was them, it was like, no. This like it didn't end at the cage. We're still mad at each other. I love them and Moxley starting it off, and then they had to be held back by the people. It's like, oh, come on! I was like, so like, if y'all want to do that rivalry just a little bit longer, I'm not sure how, because the belt is. I full-heartedly believe that All In, the belt's coming off of Moxley, but it's like, can y'all? I'm not sure how, but can y'all need to get like, can y'all do the rivalry more? It's like, I love both of them so much, and like, yeah, the standout for me in the match was Samoa Joe. I like you still got it. I know you talk about retiring before 50, but F that. Like, I still need you here. Please, thank you.
Yeah. No, I mean it was fun. I mean, it was funner than the next segment.
Don't listen. Okay, I'll go first this time. I love the Her Syndicate. I love MJF, but this was, y'all dragged this out one segment too long. I will say that one segment too long. Like this, like it honestly was like, what was the point of this segment? It's like I'm trying to think, because like I don't call it, like we have factions in wrestling, right? We don't sign contracts. We just, hey, you're in the faction. So it's time to kick you out. You get kicked out. So a contract signing for being in a faction was just so much. And it's like, okay, contract signing. What's going to happen at the end? Okay, maybe a person comes out or something happens. Like, no, what happens is Dustin and Sammy are coming out, and we're making that match official for Double or Nothing. It's like, I need y'all to go. Can y'all run this past someone else? Because this was not needed.
Yeah.
It wasn't. More so this week and last week. Y'all could have not done last week and just put everything together this week. Like I could have just done that, but and I love Dustin. He's a legend. Sammy, whatever. But it's like this was too much time for Dustin Rhodes. I'm sorry, it is.
Yeah, and the reality is that this is the same thing that the Hurt Syndicate and MJF have been doing now for 8 weeks. Essentially, it's just different. They just switch it up a little bit. Now it's a contract signing. We've essentially been doing the contract signing with the thumb for the last 5 weeks now. So I mean, it's really no different. Bob hesitated, as you knew he would. It wasn't like because he gave the thumb last week, now he was just going to sign. You knew it's still going to be like what. So what was even the thumb? If we were going to do this from the beginning, why even do the thumb ever? Like, it doesn't.
Exactly.
I mean, you had to get 3 thumbs just to get here for Bobby Lashley to still be like, oh, I don't know if this is the right situation. Well, then why have we even done the thumbs for the last 5 weeks? Like, this is really stupid. And I get that it's got MJF in it, it's got MVP in it, and the Hurt Syndicate with Bobby Lashley. So it's got some of your main event picture people in it. But the fact is that you're feuding with a Ring of Honor champions. I mean, you're feuding with Ring of Honor guys, and before that it was Top Flight, and before that it was like the Hurt Syndicate that has Bobby Lashley and is supposed to be the best tag team in the world right now is not wrestling any of the best tag teams in the world right now. They don't get the Young Bucks. They don't get FTR. They're not even getting the smaller drop-off from those guys, whoever you may think belongs there. A Claudio and a Yuta, or whoever else you want to put other tag teams that are out there. They're wrestling mid-card tag teams, and it's supposed to be interesting, and it's not. It just isn't. I love Dustin Rhodes, and I like Sammy Guevara. It's still not interesting. And it's not what... Honestly, I have no idea. But if I'm Bobby Lashley, not only am I irritated that I got to share the screen with MJF, I'm very irritated at the moment that this is what I'm doing. Like, I'm not a tag team guy. And if I am a tag team guy, let me at least wrestle the Young Bucks. Let me wrestle FTR. Don't make me wrestle fucking mid-card Ring of Honor guys. Like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, I'm a former WWE World Champion. Like, what are we doing here? So, it is what it is. And that's not taking anything away from Dustin Rhodes or Sammy Guevara. It's just, this is what the AEW Tag Team Champions are doing at Double or Nothing. So, okay.
Oh, exactly. Oh, okay. And
especially since because Sammy and Dustin aren't going to win. There's no way they're winning. I mean,
not. I'm sorry. No,
I mean, there's just no percentage and there's no percentage in my mind that thinks they're going to win.
Yeah. So that no. So it's like, it is what it is. We like practicality. Yes, the tag team champions should be on the Double or Nothing card. Practicality is, yes, we do need a promo to hype up this match. That don't mean that we liked it though. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Let's see what else was interesting. What was we talked about Mike Bailey and Okada.
Yeah.
That was.
So most of this was definitely like, oh snap, we had to hype some stuff up. We had to get some match. We had to get some match settled. And it's like, sure, what? It's like, but unlike Hurt Syndicate and what you call it, Dustin and Sammy, Okada did a great. He's like, listen, I just need 2 minutes backstage with Renee trying to pop her. You don't challenge me, I challenged you. It's like, yep, I'm invested. Sometimes that's all you need. I'm invested. That's gonna be a decent match. It's gonna be so much freaking fun.
It will be fun. I mean, there's a part of me that really hopes that Mike Bailey gets the win. Just because I'm not the biggest Okada fan, and I do like Mike Bailey, and I feel like Okada's been sitting on that title for a while now. He's wrestled a fair amount of like title eliminator matches, which we all know my opinion on those, but he hasn't defended it a whole lot. So mostly because people haven't been successful in the title eliminator matches to earn a shot. So, and again, that's part of my problem with them in the first place, but is what it is. Ricochet and Bowens.
It was good. It was good. All right.
Did it
Because
feel
how
to you like it did to me, which was unfortunately Bowens was there more, was less, it was more, this is more about Briscoe and Ricochet than it was about Anthony Bowens, which is unfortunate.
it all right. So just use your words, and then the thoughts will come after. Like you said, like no. Like again, sometimes you'll need hype for matches. It's like, oh, these two are gonna go against each other. Cool, bet. For it does feel like for this match, can I get a little bit of hype? Can I get a little bit of something beforehand? Not a promo, but it's like, okay, there we go. Great example. We did the whole thing with Zach with the one leg, and like we hyped it up on Collision, and then we had a match with Ricochet on Dynamite. I felt like that would have been nice if we had that for Anthony Bowens, where it's just like, oh, okay, we did something like some kind of backstage. Hey, bro, don't touch me like that. Oh, I can take you like whatever, blah 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 blah. Then you do the match, but it's like it's fine. I wouldn't say it was more so for um Bart Briscoe versus him, but okay, again, just use your words. I am glad. Okay, so Anthony Bowens came back. This is his first loss coming back. I believe he had like 3 or 4 matches. So okay, losing to Ricochet is not a like, oh, that sucks. No, it's Ricochet. So okay, cool. Ricochet should win because he has a match with Mark Briscoe. Okay, cool. I do feel like Anthony. It's like it, this would have been good to set up a rivalry. Like Anthony Bowens versus Ricochet, 3 matches. Yes, I'm here for that. But like you said, it just feels like it's a one and done. And it's like, okay, I guess, okay, fine, cool, whatever. It really is like what do we do with Anthony after this, right? Does he get it? Does he get a look back? I don't think he does. I don't think he gets a look back. I think we just give him go back to Collision and just more matches, and it's like, okay, whatever, fine.
Yeah, it feels like they could have gotten almost anybody to be the Anthony Bowens in this spot. And
Almost,
instead of
yeah,
using a guy that they've been trying to push a little bit now that he's back in a singles run, it feels like they've been pushing Bowens and now to take a loss. And don't get me wrong, Ricochet's fine. He's a bigger name and it is what it is. So it's not terrible, but like
right,
you could have put anybody in this position as opposed to
yeah,
someone that you've been pushing, right? So
yeah,
um, again, Bowen's on my TV. I'm never going to argue. And,
right.
him and Ricochet have decent chemistry, and Bowen's got some outfits, and it wasn't a squash by any stretch of the
No, it
imagination.
wasn't. It was
It
absolutely
just felt like it just felt like, again, with the post match stuff, that it was really, just for me, in my opinion, a little bit more about Mark Briscoe. Like I said, it could have been anybody in there. Didn't have to be Anthony Bowens, and it didn't make any difference that it was Anthony Bowens. Let's put it that way, right? Briscoe could have came and saved anybody. So, and Briscoe versus Ricochet stretcher match, okay. I mean, gimmick matches are what they are. I mean, Ricochet's a solid wrestler. Mark Briscoe's a solid wrestler. I'm a little confused exactly by the, the thought behind the booking of this. And let me just tease this out a little bit because, like, is the goal you've been, I wouldn't say to a main event per se, like not world championship level, but you've really been pushing Ricochet and heel Ricochet.
yes,
And Mark Briscoe, it feels like Mark Briscoe's never going to quite get to Mark Briscoe's always going to be the continental or international title guy if
yeah.
he's a title guy at all, right? And so the question is, what is the goal here? Are you trying to elevate Mark Briscoe? Or are you trying to elevate Ricochet? If you're trying to elevate Ricochet, who's already in theory, if you're looking at the AEW totem pole or pecking order at the moment, is already above Mark Briscoe, right? So a win over Mark Briscoe doesn't really do much for him. So if you have Mark Briscoe win here, is the idea that you're pushing Mark Briscoe over Ricochet? That's probably not going to happen. I assume Ricochet's getting the win here. So the whole thing is kind of weird to me. I'm not totally sure that I understand putting these two together in this situation.
It does feel like with a bunch of these guys, more so it with Ricochet, Speedball McBailey, Kevin Knight, Okada, even what you call it, Kyle Fletcher. It's like we know y'all are good, and I'll put the catch in there too. We know y'all are good. the main event scene is already established. We're gonna have Moxley versus either Osprey or Hangman. So we don't know what to do with you guys. But to that I say, TNT title.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember that Adam Cole is a TNT champion? And yet, okay, and it's like, can y'all please change it? I know, like they're on TNT now, they're on TBS. Just call it the television title so we can get Adam Cole back over here and have some matches.
Right.
It's a television title, so get your behind back over here so we can have these people fight for this title. And crazy enough, that's why I'm talking about Omega. Omega don't need to be in the main event feud. He's the international champion. When the last time the freaking defended that belt. So it's like we have belts for these people, but they're occupied. More so, like I said, I'm Cole. He really ain't occupied, but you don't want to be on Dynamite. So what the frick is wrong with that? And then the other side of it is Omega. You, like I said, you're just needed for Okada, Kenny 3. You're not needed for this. In my opinion, you're not needed for this Anarchy in Arena. So until we get Okada, Omega 3. Let him defend that freaking title. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree. Let's see. What else? There was a Stokely FTR stuff. Actually,
sorry. Real quick. We got somebody in the chat.
Did we miss it?
No, I think I got it. So
I totally missed it.
I'm not gonna say that fully, just because Nyla Rose. If y'all remember her, I don't know where she is. She should come back for television. But she was the first ever AEW Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So I'm not going to put that much stank on who he of that being the reason why he's not being pushed. And he was also the tag team champions as well. Scissor Me Daddy was a thing. I'm not going to totally say that's the reason why he's not going to get pushed. And his solo career just started. So we got to give it a couple of months before we put yay or nay to that. This one too.
I'm not sure who's Vanilla Daddy.
Because we don't know who that is. So if you can tell us who the freak that is, that would be very much. Who is Vanilla? Oh, is that in the in the event? He is the main event, but also I needed to make sense though. You can't just add him into something that doesn't make sense. Yes, the Young Bucks are in there, but like how much? The last time they interacted, I wasn't feeling it. Me personally, I'm like, it's fine. Like the whole thing with him and the Young Bucks was fine, but it feels like they kind of got away from that of him and the Young Bucks being the main thing. The Young Bucks are definitely in there, but Omega, his reasoning to be in the Anarchy in the Arena isn't there just yet for me. So it's like, yeah.
Sorry, DB Choice. I totally missed your chats here because I had another screen up on half of the chat board, so I couldn't really see it. But this one's a little bit of a hot take. Let's see. Imagine if the Young Bucks just went back to being the Young Bucks that we love instead of fake heels. That is AEW's biggest problem, is the Young Bucks being heels. I'm not sure I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean,
because I love them as heels more than baby faces. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say I really enjoy Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the heels, the heel Bucks. I mean, I think that's where their sweet spot is, honestly.
Yeah.
And the Elite feels like, by nature, the name Elite should be a cocky heel faction. Like, so I mean, I think it works perfect. But everyone's entitled to their opinion. So I mean,
but who said the y'all were Elite? Like, I'm sorry. Like, now. As a heel, I can say that about y'all. No one told y'all were Elite.
This take I do agree with. Breaking up the Acclaimed was another idiot move. They took one of the most overacts in the company and ended it for what? I totally agree with that. And especially for what now when you see what they're doing with Max Caster, which I've been saying for 2 months now, they've been doing nothing but burying Max Caster. So I don't understand what they're doing with Max Caster. And they've done a little bit better with Bowens. They have given him like 3 or 4 wins before this loss against Ricochet. But again, the loss against Ricochet, and to a certain extent, maybe what could be argued feeling a little third wheelish in at least that match with Ricochet to the Mark Briscoe storyline that Ricochet has going on. So, I mean, I would want more for both of them. If you're going to split them up, give them both more. If not, leave them together. I mean, the whole scissor movement or the scissor thing. I mean, it was as over as you can possibly get in wrestling, as I remember. I mean, so I mean, yeah, and I don't, to be fair, I mean, it's Billy Gunn and all those kinds of things, but again, I don't know. I think they blew it by splitting them up. So,
yeah.
but
Or like I said it's anything. If you're gonna do something, have a plan. It's like, so if you're gonna split them up, what was the plan of splitting them up? Oh, we're just gonna be they're just gonna be by themselves. That's
yeah,
not a plan, especially when they're, like you said, when they're that over. You should have a plan for people who are that over.
yeah,
That, like, no, point blank period.
yeah. Let's see
The
what
women's
else.
promo with Mercedes Moné and Jamie Hayter. I'll give a couple of tidbits again. So I love that Renee was the interviewer because she's so good. That goes out saying, but she's so freaking good. Like, she was like, so we have Mercedes Moné, who is TBS champion, a New Japan Strong Women's champion, but we also have Jamie Hayter, who has done something that Mercedes May had yet to do. She was former AEW Women's World Heavyweight. I'm like, yes, thank you. She is not some scrub. She was actually a Women's World Heavyweight Champion. It's like like this notion of, I'm coming from the brink. Oh, I'm not so good. I'm like, you are Jamie freaking Hayter. I'm not sure who said this should be the narrative of this rivalry, but it should not. And like, nah, you are Jamie freaking Hayter, and you gonna get your title back, girl. So actually, I love that part of it. And like I said, this promo did what it's supposed to do. They put a little more stank on this match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not always the biggest fan of these segments, especially the sit down interview segments, but this one I thought came off really well. I
Yeah.
liked the fact that there was a point where Mercedes just wasn't gonna take it anymore and jumped on Jamie. I don't take it anymore. She got whatever and jumped on Jamie, and then it actually devolved into what it should, right? As opposed to just looking at each other and whatever. So like, I enjoyed that. It was a little bit different than a lot of times how they just end staring at each other or someone walks
Yeah.
away. So I enjoyed that. I mean, I think they've done a good job. I'm still not 100% clear, mostly because I feel like AEW has done a terrible job telling us. I'm not 100% sure on what Jamie Hayter's character currently is, or if it's a character, but it is what it is, and it doesn't ultimately really matter, I guess. But that being said, this match should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm 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 not concerned. Let me say it this way. I'm not concerned because she is amazing and deserves everything she's earned and everything she's going to get in the future. Mercedes Moné is amazing. I kind of want Jamie Hayter to win just because I think it would be cool to shake it up a little bit. At the same time, Mercedes is so amazing. And like I said, she deserves everything she gets now, has earned, and what she'll have in the future. So, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from her, but it would be kind of, watching her with the 3 belts. It's like she could give up one, maybe,
So I love that story because it kind of, so that's why Mercedes Moné went after Hayter, because Hayter was like, you're looking a little bit light there, and she was like she was like, because, oh, I see you lost one of those belts to I'm gonna get the name wrong, but just give me some grace. Azumi.
yeah.
Azumi, and it's like, I
Azumi.
think that, and she's like, I think that's your future. I think you're gonna lose everything. Like, everything is going to be lost. You're going to lose everything, including the women's Owen Cup fight. And like, if they paid more attention, I would love for that to be the story. I would love that actually Mercedes Moné is going to lose each belt piece by piece, and hopefully one of those belts might go to Athena. Okay, because, like, no offense, everyone keeps saying that, okay, the reason why Monet's gonna lose because we're gonna get Athena versus Monet at All In. I'm like, okay, I only saw Athena the one time. I haven't seen her in a minute. And granted, yes, it was a final she lost, but it's still like, if we're going to build that up, shouldn't we put her on Dynamite or even Collision just a little bit more? Just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But y'all keep saying that's gonna happen, but whatever. But yeah, and then like Jamie getting the doing the haterade. I'm like, yes, she is no scrub. Let's stop acting like she's a scrub. She's not. So yeah, I love this. This was good.
Main event.
What else is the main event?
Mina. Well, there you go. That tells you all you need to know. Mina Shirakawa versus Julia Hart was this week's main event of Dynamite.
It feels like y'all are trolling us. Like like it that like this whole main event thing. Period. It's like y'all know y'all are not stupid. Y'all are not dumb. Whoever's in charge, like y'all know what should be the main event. Should be the best. This is like no offense. Not a lot of people are going to watch Collision on Thursday. So this is your Double or Nothing go home show. And when we talked about Tone,
Tony.
I don't listen. I'm not sure what that came out of.
I love it. Tony Storm.
Tone Storm versus. That's what happened. Mariah, I put Mariah May and Tony together. Tony Storm, Mariah May. When we talk about that wasn't because we just want women in the main event. It made sense. It was an actual rivalry. This was the third time they're actually going to end the feud. So that is why they should have been the main event. This like, yeah, Mina. I said, like, Mina just got this opportunity last week. It's like this could have been the first match. Like this. Okay. All right. So match wise, this was great. I'll go down the rabbit hole, and we only go down the rabbit hole because I do love Mina and I do love Julia. Julia, I'm not sure if she gets hurt constantly, and so like that's unfortunate. But not having seen her wrestle in a minute, this was actually a decent match, right? And it gives Serena another win for the people who don't know who Mina is. After like I would say last time we saw her stably, it was against Mariah May, and it was a couple of months ago. So it's like, okay, it makes sense for her to get a win. But it's like as the main event, it's like no, it's just like this could have been like the top of the hour or the beginning of the show.
Yeah, unfortunately, I totally agree. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Mina Shirakawa and or Julia Hart or the match itself. It was fine what it is, and they're both solid wrestlers. Mina's definitely better than Julia, but unfortunately, Julia especially probably doesn't have any business being in the main event. And, we haven't seen Mina enough to really be like, yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, she has the match with Toni Storm coming up, Mina, so I get why they're trying to show her off and give her a little whatever, and this is your go home show for Double or Nothing, so you're trying to but it's still Julia Hart. It seems like a weird choice here. And that being said, the match was fine. It just is a weird choice for a main event spot. And technically, I guess when you think about the fact that there's another Anarchy in the Arena segment after this, maybe this isn't the main event, but it's still your main event wrestling match on the show. And I don't want to remove a women's match in any way, shape, or form. It should be somewhere else on the card, like you said. Yeah, somewhere else on the card. And if you want to put women in the main event, then put the women that deserve to be in the main event, unfortunately, in the main event, which at this moment in time isn't really Julia Hart or Mina Shirakawa. I mean, Mina more than Julia, but it's debatable if either of them should be there. So,
or like bookend it. You started off with Ospreay and Hangman, your women, your men's Owen Hart Cup finalists. Then bookend it with the women, Mercedes and Jamie Hayter as your women's Owen Hart Cup finals. Like
right.
If one of them had a match, okay, and then Toni Storm comes down or something like that. Like that would have been. But yeah, just Mina and Julia, I love you girls, but they're not there yet. Again, by themselves.
Yeah. Post match, the Bucks are trying to leave, but Hobbs and Samoa Joe jump them. Everyone else comes in. A bunch of weapons are around. The Bucks beat up Kenny Omega. Gabe Kidd rushes in to help the Death Riders beat, whatever. The Bucks deliver stereo drivers to Omega and Swerve to the tables to end the show. I thought, this was all right. I mean,
Anarchy.
the
Yeah.
match earlier and this segment were fun. I mean, I enjoyed that. I definitely, I said earlier what I said about not always being the biggest fans of these multi-man matches. That being said, this one has done a decent job of hyping it up. I feel kind of bad, like I said earlier, for Matt Menard that he's not in this, but I understand why Swerve is there. And it should be a fun match, and this was a fun segment, getting to see everyone, hit their little spots and all this. It will be a spot fest for sure, if nothing else. So,
Like, uh, I I still stand by our statement of anarchy should not be a yearly thing where it's like, oh, we're in May, anarchy. It should
yeah,
actually be a feud that's worth it. But God bless them, the Bucks and because anarchy usually is um Moxley and some variation of the elites. I feel like the first one was with the first one was with uh uh Blackpool Combat Club with Jericho. The second one was with the Elite and the Blackpool Combat Club. So like, this is mostly John Moxley's baby, right? But the Elite had like I want to say 2 out of 3 of these, but to sum up, they like even though the feud isn't there, they listen before the match start, before Double or Nothing. They get you invested. It's like this is why I always do this, because y'all know y'all can rev this up before Double or Nothing. But you shouldn't do that though. You should still like in the future, please just have a rivalry for that's worthy of anarchy. But yeah, like you said, this did what it was supposed to do. Where it's just like anarchy, let's go. Not sure, not sure how invested Willow and Marina, like they're not in the match, but it's like one of these days that would have been so high that was though. It's come on, like or any capacity, this war games. It's like just one woman. It's like come on, it's like this is a contact sport. We can work around not everybody hitting the chick. It's just like it's like we can work around that. It's like I feel like y'all all professionals that can make it work. But yeah, this got the motor revved up, and I am ready for anarchy in the arena.
yeah. I mean, I thought it was a solid episode of Dynamite. For a go home episode, it could have been a little bit better, probably, but I thought it was solid. It was definitely better than Dynamite than Collision on Saturday. So, and I gave that a B minus. I'm going to give this B. B. I give it a solid B. Just a little bit above Collision. There was nothing egregious, but other than a couple things, there wasn't anything that I was like, oh, this is amazing as well, that stood out really for me. And so, yeah, I mean, Bowen's taking the loss to Ricochet was a little bit whatever. Julia Hart being in the main event with Amina Shirakawa is a little eh. Um, so, yeah, what about you? What are you giving the show? What are you giving the grade? Or the show? What grade are you giving the show? I can get it out eventually.
No. I'll give it a solid B. Like honestly, it was just about placement. Where it's just like y'all just move some things around, and no offense, cut the her syndicate segment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That wasn't necessary. That was not necessary here. It's like if you like if you would have just done the trios match with the elite and uh the ops. I would say just ops to cover all bases. And the ops, if you just made that the main event and then do the shenanigans afterwards, like what's the point? What's the point of waiting until after the women just do the match? Oh, we're all pissed off. We're all on 10, and do the shenanigans. Like if that would have been the main event, it would have been like a B plus. But like you said, match placement. You said some things was like just not necessary. But yeah, a solid B, a solid B.
All right, so Dynamite is ahead of Collision from last Saturday so far as we go into our final show of this episode of Winner's Circle, which is a Collision from Thursday night special Collision episode. There will not be a Collision episode tonight. So this was basically tonight's episode on Thursday night, as they did 2 weeks ago. I think it was. They did the same thing 2 weeks
It
ago.
was 2 weeks
So
ago, which is crazy. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
we're
uh,
doing it now because it's like this is the go home show of Double or Nothing. It'd be kind of weird to do it after Double or Nothing. Oh, what happened before the show? So it's like we'll do it right now.
yeah. So let's see. Tony Schiavone. Let's see. We got Daniel Garcia in the ring
Yep.
with Daddy Magic. And they're going to talk about FTR.
Yep. Daddy.
But
Oh yeah. It was a face to face promo with FTR and Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. And okay, this was a contract signing, but there wasn't a table. I appreciate it. It was just like, listen, let's just get this over with.
yeah, I mean, it was fine for what it was. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of these, and I'm definitely not a fan of opening the show with them. I understand that this is a good way, I suppose, to try to hype up matches before shows, that kind of stuff. And they, this will now be on Double or Nothing, as we're booking, we're booking matches for a pay per view 2 days before the pay per view, which is fine. Luckily, the story's had a little opportunity to build up, so it's not like it's out of the blue.
Yeah.
But it still feels kind of a little rushed in some regards for Double or Nothing. But again, it is what it is. I thought Nigel was fine. The whole thing came off fine for the most part. As in general, Stokely's always the best part of anything when he's around. So that being said, getting to see Nigel wrestle again should be fun. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Garcia, so it is what it is. And again, I understand that not everything FTR has to do has to be around titles or any of that kind of stuff. It does feel weird for potentially, debatably the best tag team or one of the best tag teams on the planet to be having a match with a guy that hasn't wrestled really in like 10 years and a guy that's basically a mid-card guy. So I understand the storyline and it makes sense and it's all fine. It plays out because that's the story you're telling. I'm just not a big fan of putting FTR in this storyline. It doesn't, and or Nigel in the ring again. I mean, if the Nigel Danielson stuff made sense to me because of their rivalry. This seems to me like we've talked about in the past to be a direct copy of getting Pat McAfee involved with Gunther. And I just, there's no reason to copycat for copycat's sake. And, it is what it is. So,
Yeah. I won't say it's also like like we're gonna say it to y'all fix it. They have a tag team division problem. Where just like besides these guys, what big baby faces would FTR like right now, which is crazy. Your top two tag team champion, your top two tag team are both heels. And it's like, oh, that's not good. How are we like? It's like who are they gonna? Like, and all the baby you and no offense, but all the baby faces you put in front of them are scrubs. Like call spade. You okay? There you go. You presented them as scrubs. So yeah, so it's like we got to dig inside the whole. Let's pair some people together for them to face. Oh, Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. It's like okay, fine, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, match wise,
yeah. Match wise, it should be fun. I mean, it should be a good match. I don't know if it deserves being in a Double or Nothing pay per view. I mean, FTR's in it, so in that regard, I understand. But like, I'm not sure that it could be. This would have been fine for a Dynamite, like a beach break match, or something like a special Dynamite, or even a regular Dynamite. And I think it would have been fine. But
this is real life. You like we have top people that should be on the card, but you didn't have anybody that's also on that level to fit in the face.
Yeah. Next, we had my favorite segment of this whole show, the Tony Storm promo. Tony Storm is amazing. I mean, right now she is by far. I don't know if she's the best promo because best holds a lot of connotation for me, but she's definitely the most entertaining promo in wrestling right now, without a doubt. Mina Shirakawa has made her feel alive. This pussy is on the prowl. She said there's nobody more talented than Mina. Tony wants her very best on Sunday, and together they will make the cactuses cream. They want to leave Double or Nothing, and Tony Storm wants to leave it thinking, damn it, Mina, you lusty, busty bastard. We lived. I mean, this promo, I mean, she's been gold, but this is like triple gold. This is one of her better promos, just in a plethora of great promos recently, and
like,
a great character. This was on point for everything. I mean, man.
She has found her groove, and just her holding the belt like that while she's doing the whole thing. She's holding it better. She's holding it better than Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes trying to hold the belt like that. And they were like, "What the hell are you doing, bro?" She's like, "Oh, that's how you're supposed to hold it." It's sir, like that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, no, she is in her bag, and she can definitely just and she can just make anything exciting. And it's like you could have had a little more help hyping this match up if you would just say they face each other at freaking Forbidden Door, but you want to erase Mariah May's existence completely. It's like come on, like that's really why this is kind of hard to build up. It's like y'all are trying to act, y'all real life trying to act like they don't know each other from last year because of Mariah May. I get she left, but like at least address it a little bit. Like yeah, you showed what's the face? You showed Dustin Rhodes going against Cody because he's the day one dude. I don't know why you couldn't show Mariah May and you couldn't show Mina versus Tony at Forbidden Door. It's like you're making it hard on yourselves, but Tony is professional, and Tony's gonna make it work, and she definitely made it work with this promo. It was so deliciously good, and how she delivered it, and how she and how she it's like you're on 10, and I want you not to come down.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. Let's see, 6-man tag, Callis family beating Outrunners and Bandito this week. Basically, kind of a run back of last week Collision 6-man match, but with different guys. With different tag team partners for Bandito. Instead of Brody King and Ishii, it's the Outrunners. I like the Outrunners, but at least with Brody King and Ishii, both of them are, I'm not going to say main event guys, because that's not necessarily how they get booked, but in my mind, they should be main event guys. And they're at the very, very tippy top of any mid-card pile. They're right at the very bottom of the main event stack. So, like, whereas the Outrunners are really kind of much lower on that. So it's, the Outrunners are not winning, right? And unfortunately, even with Bandito, they're not winning. So Takeshita and RPG Vice, they get the win. Again, happy to see Trent Beretta. What, you want to comment on it at all?
No, I wouldn't say they're not winning, because on number one, on Collision, that is kind of their show. That is kind of how they got over. And I know you love RPG Vice, but in the grand scheme of things, Trent and Rocky Romero, they're probably the ones in the group to take the most losses. So it's like if Don Cal's family needs a loss, it's probably going to be against them. So I'm not going to say they're a complete wash. I was just going to say, like, you missed the boat. Where Outrunners could have been that baby face you could have put in main events, but you just you have a real problem of not striking where the iron's hot. And it's like when they were really, really hot, you said no, we're gonna just put Fletcher and Osprey. It's like, you heard the pop during the casino gauntlet. Just let them win. And it's just like, okay, fine. And now they're not scrubs just yet, but it is like you could have had them be the baby face that the Hurt Syndicate no, they beat them, but that's how what you call it? They're gonna say useless. That's how unbelievable I had Outrunners beating Hurt Syndicate. I want to say it was a Revolution. It was one of those. I want to say like AEW Dynasty. It was like I didn't believe it, and I was right. And so, yeah, great trios match. But it's like that's Outrunners. You could have had them be the top baby face, but no.
I thought Gabe Kidd's promo explaining why he joined the Death Riders was solid. I enjoyed that a lot. And then Moxley kind of following it up, continuing. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Uh,
you stay here.
let's see. Mercedes versus Reina Isi or Isis or I forgot how they pronounce it. They pronounce it different than I thought they were going to call her Reina Isis, and then it was something different. And I can't remember exactly how they pronounced it, but you know, winner and still AEW TBS champion Mercedes Moné, just a little over 5 minutes. I mean, again, Jamie comes out at the end. Security basically prevents them from getting too close and all that stuff, even though there really wasn't um, an interaction, a physical interaction between Mercedes and Jamie. This is really about that match continuing to putting Mercedes in the ring to do something so you could have Jamie Hayter come out and continue to build that match for tomorrow night. So, which, that being said, there were a couple little moments where Reina looked okay. But again, I've never heard of her before this. And so, obviously Mercedes is going to get the win, especially in a title match. I guess here's one of those times. This is going to sound really fucking weird. Here's one of those times where, like, I almost would have preferred a title eliminator match, because that if it's for the title in this situation with someone you've never ever heard of or seen before, there's zero chance that they're going to win. Not that there's any chance they're going to win in a title eliminator match, but at least it's not for the title. I mean, that there's no way this woman that you've never seen or heard of before is taking the title from Mercedes tonight. So it's like, okay, so in that regard, it almost would have, which is a weird thing for me to say, but it is what it is. Anything you want to say about this?
So correct me if I'm like I know you don't know, but I think that she wasn't I think she was in WWE. I think she was with I think she was the chick that was with Primo and Carlito's brother and cousin, Primo and someone else. I think
okay.
I think that's her. It looks like her, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. You're still wrestling, cool. But like you said, that was over 10 years ago. Maybe even more. I don't know her as CMLL like that. And so it's like, we know Mercedes wins. And sometimes it's fine where it's like you don't like, even though they're gonna lose, it's nice to go on the ride with them. This ride was fine. I could have got to another line and got on another ride, but this was fine. Like you said, it's all about the whole pull apart brawl with Mercedes and Jamie Hayter. It's like, all right, fine.
Since we're not overly invested in the Sons of Texas versus the Hurt Syndicate, I'm going to skip over the Sammy and Dustin segment.
No, because they're hyping the matchup, and like I said, you have him showing him versus the Cody match, but you don't want to show Mariah May. Oh, okay, fine. Like I said, they hype the matchup. We're day one. It's like I think SP3 said it. Like, is it MJF day one too? He's day one as well. I know you're not going to get MJF, but you are saying this in front of us day one. We're just saying. But like, hey, you need something. You need a way to get us invested in this. This is a way to do it. Fine.
I don't really have anything to say. You said it all. You summed it up fine. Fletcher versus Lethal. This was basically kind of a repeat of Fletcher versus AR Fox from last week. I mean, it's not. Jay Lethal and AR Fox are definitely different people, and I'm happy to see Jay Lethal on TV. So in that regard, I'm happy to see him get a rest. But you knew Kyle Fletcher was getting the win. He basically got the win this week the same way he got the win last week. The big lariat kind of kick to the head, and then the power bomb for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Brainbuster. Sorry, I said powerbomb. I meant Brainbuster. So Kyle Fletcher, Protostar, gets a win. A little over 10 minutes. I personally, at this point in their careers, enjoy watching AR Fox a little bit more than Jay Lethal, just because he's still a little bit more athletic. But Jay Lethal's still amazing, and I love Jay Lethal. So Kyle Fletcher being in the ring with both these guys the last 2 weeks has been fun, and I enjoy seeing him wrestle these kind of guys. These are perfect for Kyle Fletcher. They're right in his wheelhouse as far as the kind of guys he should be wrestling. Technical guys that can do all sorts of different stuff, that are, experienced on the mat. AR Fox, even though we haven't seen him a lot on TV in his career,
Yeah.
is a very experienced wrestler with a long time and a lot of years in wrestling. So, for a young guy like Kyle Fletcher to be getting to cut his teeth against AR Fox and Jay Lethal in the ring in between these big moment matches with the Kenny Omegas and the other guys is great for Kyle Fletcher. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of unpredictability. I assume Kyle Fletcher's going to be getting these wins, and he is, but it's still fun.
Right. Like you said, Jay, I wish they gave Jay. I'm not saying Jay Lethal should be the main event, but I feel like okay, that part. Shelton Benjamin, where he's at, I feel like Jay Lethal should have had a taste of that. Just one good time, let him be the tag team champion. Like when they were doing the things with when Mark Briscoe first came to AEW and they were doing the will they won't they with FTR and Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal with Mark Briscoe in the middle. That actually was pretty fun. I actually was like, just let the world burn for a month and let Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal had a tag team championships for a month. But because like Jay Lethal's a legend, and you just want more from him. Honestly, like you just want more from him. And so
yeah, I honestly I agree with you 100%. Want more for Jay Lethal? I can't get on board with even giving Jeff Jarrett the titles even for a month. I just can't do
why
it.
not? You didn't enjoy the whole thing with hit with will they won't they with FTR and Mark. That was the time. That was the time to do it.
I'll be honest with you. There's a few guys that from the minute I ever saw them through the moment of today that I've never liked. Jeff Jarrett has been one of those guys. There's something about Jeff Jarrett. I have never, ever, ever liked Jeff Jarrett. There's guys that I've gone back and forth on. Like, there are times, overall, as an umbrella, I don't like Roman Reigns. There have been times where I've liked him more than others. I've never liked Jeff Jarrett. Ever, never, 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 ever once, never. So in that regard, I don't really care. But yes, I mean, I want more. I wanted more. When AEW started and Jay Lethal was there, I was very excited. I was like, ooh, this was 6 years ago when Jay Lethal probably still had a little bit more in the tank. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be a spot for a guy like Jay Lethal to shine. AEW is a perfect place for that. And he did a little bit, but never like he should have. Never like he should have. Yeah. And again, maybe he's okay with that. Maybe he's perfectly fine with where he is at this point in his career. I don't know. But it seems like if I was him, I would want more. And as a fan of Jay Lethal, I always wanted a little bit more in AEW. Let's see. Cole. We got the Paragon next. Grizzled Young Veterans versus the Paragon. Kyle O'Reilly.
Real quick. So after the match, Kyle Fletcher was beating up Jay Lethal, and Adam Cole came in. He's like, "That's my boy from ROH. I don't want to see that happen." And then I know that's what came out. That's how the Paragon came out. It feels like we are going to get some variation of Fletcher versus Adam Cole, which is cool. But like, can y'all do it on your recap it on Dynamite? I don't even do it on Dynamite. They just recap it. So if they have a match on a pay-per-view, no one's in the dark of it don't feel like it's out of the blue because no one watches freaking Collision.
Yeah, no, I'm a little torn on this because I mean, Kyle Fletcher competing for the TNT title is probably where he should be at this point in his young, kind of still fledgling career. That being said, I love both these guys. I absolutely love Adam Cole, and he hasn't really had a chance to do much with the TNT title yet, and so I don't necessarily want him to see him lose, but Kyle Fletcher is on such a trajectory and being booked in such a strong way at the moment that it's not at the level of Will Ospreay, but it almost feels like you've made him to a point where it's hard for him to lose. Like, you have to do a lot to beat Kyle Fletcher at this point. Don't get me wrong. Adam Cole's an amazing wrestler. And if someone can beat a guy like Kyle Fletcher, it's probably an Adam Cole. But, man, I don't know. I'm concerned that it could be – not concerned. Again, Kyle Fletcher deserves to be champion. I just don't want Adam Cole to give up the belt yet. Like, it's this weird kind of like, I don't want Adam Cole to lose.
No.
Even though he hasn't done anything with it, I still don't want him to give up the belt yet because I want more for him with the belt. Like, I want them to do something with him. I want more for him with the belt. But
like, no. Honestly, with all, it feels like all of the TNT champions, it feels like it got to a point where y'all stopped caring about that belt. More so, like after Christian Cage dropped it, we just didn't see a lot of matches with the belt for the belt. It's like no offense, Jack Perry. I think we all can agree. Okay, Jack Perry has the belt. It's gonna work. We've never seen we only maybe see him compete for the belt once or twice. Then you give the Dan Garcia. Okay, it's gonna work. We never see him compete. It's like, can we put this belt on television, please? And once I put the belt on television, have matches on TV for this belt.
Yeah. What else? Let's see. We had Josh Alexander versus AR Fox.
Yeah.
Which was solid. Again, AR Fox on TV again. That's one of the things that I said. I hadn't been watching Collision, and now that I'm back to watching it, you get to see guys that you don't necessarily see on Dynamite. And AR Fox is one of those guys, so I'm happy to see that. Jay Lethal seems to be one of those guys, so I'm happy to see those things. Again, AR Fox does unfortunately take the loss to Josh Alexander. And this time, for me, very disappointing. Again, such a double-edged sword. Josh Alexander is so amazing and such a great wrestler that I understand having him look strong. I get it. He should be positioned as one of the better wrestlers on the AEW roster, as he is. But him beating AR Fox in half the time that Kyle Fletcher beat AR Fox was a little shocking. And AR Fox taking losses 2 weeks in a row to both Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander as an AR Fox fan is a little disappointing. So I get that he's there to take losses and make guys look good, but you can only make somebody look so good in 4 minutes, right? Don't get me wrong, Josh Alexander doesn't necessarily need any help to look good, but like, if you're going to use why are you using Fox against Josh Alexander just to basically squash Fox? That doesn't make sense, I guess.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. It's the 2 weeks in a row for me. It's like 2 weeks in a row. We couldn't let AR Fox get a win on Dynamite before we do this match. It's like I said, I love Record Romero and Trick, but if, like, can we at least have AR Fox beat one of them before getting beat by Josh Alexander? Getting beat 2 weeks in a row by the same faction. It's like, you couldn't find no one else to take this L. You couldn't find no one else. It's like, boo. Yeah. But that's fine. But like, boo.
And it's Josh Alexander beating AR Fox in half. I mean, was this done deliberately? Him beating him in half the time that Kyle Fletcher beating him? Is that like them trying to imply Josh Alexander is better than Kyle Fletcher because he gets the job done faster? Or is it just coincidence that it happened to be that way? With something scripted like this where everything's planned, like I don't know that I trusted anything isn't done deliberately. I mean, with Tony Khan, I don't know that he's that in-depth a thinker when it comes to the booking, so I'm a little, maybe it is what it is, but like at the same time, I'm not sure if they're trying to imply something. Is Josh Alexander supposed to be better than Kyle Fletcher, which that's a debate that anyone can have, I suppose, at this point. So we have a CMLL trios match, which is very interesting. So again, and maybe it's not WWE just bought AAA, right?
Yeah.
And WWE is going to now have an influx of AAA wrestlers. And this is something that AEW's done since their inception. They've always had a fair relationship with Mexican wrestling, to be fair. Yeah. But it still feels like now you're injecting CMLL much more into your programming than you were before, probably because WWE bought AAA. So you kind of want to counter with your own little Mexican AEW. Right, exactly. So, it is.
Yeah, CMLL, yes.
Right. And we know that CMLL and AAA have had their issues in the past and those kind of things. So there's a natural rivalry. Okay, you got AAA. We'll go get the other big company in Mexico. And we'll, okay. So, it's a little bit of a peeing contest. It feels like a little bit. To be fair, AEW does have the ground to stand on to say, we have been doing this, though, for 5 years or 6 years. Yes. They have a lot, much more than WWE ever did. So in that regard, we have a little bit more ground to stand on. So what do you think of this match? It was Los Depredadores, Volador Jr., Magnus, and Ruggiero versus Masquerita Dorada, Templario, and Mystico. The only one I'm really familiar with is Mystico because he's been around before. He's an amazing wrestler, as we've seen him wrestle. I thought it was fun for what it was. I mean, it was a 10-minute, 10-minute luchador, high flying match with a lot of good spots. I enjoyed it. I just not sure what this means in the realm of AEW. This is your go home collision show for Double or Nothing. And this is, I mean, I don't know. It felt very weird place too, because I thought this was basically the run over the hour. I thought we were stopping in an hour for the countdown show. And we were into like an hour and 10 minutes, and this match was just starting. And I was like, well, wait a second, what's going on here? So, and is this our main event? Like, this is kind of weird. Is this supposed to be the countdown show now? Or, like, I wasn't totally sure. But, is what it is. I enjoyed the match for what it was. So.
No. If you like wrestling for wrestling's sake, this was a very, very fun match. For me, I do need to know a little bit about the people. So it's like, oh, okay, all right, these people facing each other, cool. Luchadors, all right, fine. So like you said, if you love wrestling's sake, it was very much so fun. But if you don't, like, if you need a little bit more context, it's like, oh, sure. All right, and like I said, that being the case, it is like you can't. That's what makes it. That's why it makes it comparable. Where it's like, come on, Brand, we don't know none of these people besides Mystico, and then WWE's doing World Collide. You can't tell me y'all not bringing these people out just because y'all trying to do it, like you said, a piston contest. And listen, ain't nothing wrong with piston contest. They make sure that your stream is a little stronger. That's. If you gonna get a competition, just make sure you win. I guess I'll just leave it there. And like I ain't gonna say I'm not winning, but you gotta bring some heavy hitters out if y'all gonna do this.
Let's see that, and also, I'm gonna say something that I don't want it to come off the wrong way, but and I see it a lot of times with American wrestlers as well, or more traditionally American style wrestlers. I guess maybe it catches my attention a little bit more because it's more flashy and so it stands out more. But I noticed that there's a lot of copycat rope work amongst luchadors. They do a lot of the same, like they'll switch it up a little bit, but there's a lot of the same kind of rope walking and bouncing and doing like different things on the ropes before you actually execute your move. And when you have 6 guys in the ring that all do that same kind of thing at different times, it gets to be a little much almost at times. It's like, okay, I guess, whatever.
Well, like it's just that like you're a luchador going against luchador, so it's like I get what you're saying. Where it's like that's what happens when you go against someone who has the same style as you. That's why you kind of want to see them go against people. But it's like, can I break it up a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit.
We got a couple little highlight packages. One of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. The issues between Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, Harley Cameron, and Anna Jay. And they're going to be in a tag team match on the buy-in, the 0 hour before the main card. So, anything you want to say about that?
I'm fine with it. A 0 hour, and like Megan Bayne, we're still trying to push her, so this is a good place for her. I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad
at it. Chris Statlander, Willow. They have a little segment here. Want to talk about it?
Bruh, like I let it go. That's just me. No offense. I don't care about if y'all are friends or not. I'm not. This doesn't stay frenemies. Like honestly, and then what Statlander said. She's like, listen, yo, just be careful who you push, because I might just push back. Like, shut up. You push, like, you act like we don't forget that you're the one who turned on her. So hell no, I don't want your friend just yet. It's like, so it really is just like, just let it go.
I thought the whole thing was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like more so that it's like, why are we showing this right now? No, I love Statlander, but she does not have a match on Double or Nothing. So
Willow has something else going on. I mean, Willow already is involved.
Like, what are we doing?
Willow's already involved in Anarchy in the Arena, so why are we giving her a segment that has nothing to do with Anarchy in the Arena?
Like what was the point of this right now? There we go. More so right now. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily chomping at the bit for more Willow Statlander to begin with, but especially not while Willow's already engaged with something else that's coming up tomorrow night. Like, it just
exactly.
Wait till they're done with Anarchy in the Arena, and then go back to Stat and Willow if you want. But like,
and unfortunately, this is y'all's fault. This could have been a great rivalry, but y'all monked it up by letting Stokely not be with Statlander anymore. And it's like, and all of a sudden, Statlander turns babyface out of the freaking clear blue sky. Y'all screwed it up. It's like I hate when they try to double back, and it's like, no, it's too late. You can't double back. What's the word? You can't double back. What I'm trying to say? You already screwed it up. So stop. Yeah. So get over it and move forward, please.
Yeah, no, I agree. Our actual, I guess, final or main event match of the show was Mike Bailey and Commander versus Roosh and Roosh and Trulistico, which, for me, and nothing against the previous match and the 6, CMLL wrestlers, but for me, when it comes to luchador style wrestling, this is much better for me. I enjoyed this a lot more than I did the other match. The other match was fine. I just enjoyed this more. I mean, Commander is one of the better when he's going well. Mike Bailey is Mike Bailey. We all know what he brings. Roosh is one of those guys that we've often talked about. I'm not sure where the disconnect is and why he's not often competing for a title or, somewhere even around the main event picture for that matter. And Julistico's amazing, right? So you can't take anything away from Julistico either. So these 4, I thought, killed it for what it was. I thought the match was amazing, and I really enjoyed this a lot. So
no. Commander is definitely one of your is one of your stable hands where there is he's stable. You can always, when in doubt, call Commander to get a great match. And Speedball is slowly becoming that person too, where it's like no matter who he's facing, Speedball is going to give you that match. He's going to give you what you need and entertain you in the square circle. He said, for again, I guess I'm not gonna say they gave up on Collision, but this does not feel like a main event match.
Well, I mean, it does enough for your go-home show before Double or Nothing. Like, I mean, this is go-home show.
Like, we couldn't do anything better.
I mean, 3 of these people. I mean, Mike Bailey has a match, right? If I'm not mistaken, but the other 3 don't have a match. Is it Bailey wrestling?
No. Speedball's going up against Okada, but that's it. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, the other 3 guys aren't even wrestling at Double or Nothing and have nothing going on storyline wise in any way, shape, or form. So it is a little weird. I don't have a problem with these 4 guys or this match being a main event match for Collision. You're trying to showcase other guys. You're trying to get guys that maybe don't get a lot of time on Dynamite. This is fine for me. All 4 of these guys are very solid wrestlers. It just doesn't make any sense at this moment in time with what's going on in AEW.
Right. But it's like, like you said, as of right now, we're still doing the go home still Double or Nothing. We could have had something else. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, I think the reason that they did this, and not unfortunately, because they all had okay, let me back up for just a second. Commander and Speedball did get the win. Let's mention that first. So they did get the win. We then had the segment, which I think is what we were trying to get to, which is why we had Speedball in the main event segment of the Collision show, which is they brought out Okada, and you have this little segment between Okada and Mike Bailey leading up to their match, Double or Nothing tomorrow night, which is fine. Normally, I'm a little, as you know, I'm critical sometimes of how the other party gets treated when the match is kind of secondary to the storyline.
Yeah.
That being said, here, when you have guys like Julistico and Roosh and Commander, they're so good that it didn't have that same feel. And I don't necessarily have that same feel, but it was definitely the reason Speedball was in this spot in this match was so that they could have this moment with Okada at the end, which in that regard makes sense because it is a match of Double or Nothing, but it's not your main event match, Double or Nothing.
Exactly. So. And we're not saying that you have to be the main event to be the main event of Collision, but it's like a prominent, this match literally got made official Hey, boo boo. Like, no, this match literally got made official Wednesday. Dynamite Okada finally accepted it on Dynamite last Wednesday, which was the other night. So to have this as the main event and he just accepted, it's like, come on.
Yeah. So, I thought it was fine for what it was. That was basically the end of Collision. And then it went into the Double or Nothing countdown, which I didn't hang out and really watch. So I don't know if they did anything else on there.
We know enough. Yeah.
We know enough. So for me, honestly, this is going to sound really weird, but because I thought Dynamite was a little bit down this week, I actually enjoyed Thursday's Collision the best of the 3 shows this week. I thought it was kind of the funnest for me, just like entertainment-wise.
Explain yourself, please.
Well, okay, so first let's talk about the actual part of it. So there were only 4 matches on Dynamite, right?
Yes.
And on Dynamite, the main event was Julia Hart versus Mina Shirakawa. So in that regard, there was better wrestling, in my opinion, as a wrestling fan, on either Collision, if you want to talk about both of them, but definitely on Thursday's Collision. And even though the two matches at the end of Collision that felt more like the beginning of the countdown show was a little bit odd, I still liked it. I don't know. I found the show more. I was more engaged with that episode of Collision than I was with this episode of Dynamite. That being said, I don't know what kind of grade I want to give it. I don't know if I would have graded higher per se, but I think I might. I mean, I gave Collision Dynamite.
Come on.
I gave Dynamite a B+. So I think I'm going to give Collision a B+. I'm going to call it a tie for the moment. I'm going to give Collision and Dynamite the same score this week. Collision from Thursday gets a B+. Dynamite from Wednesday gets a B+. Collision from Saturday gets a B-. What are you giving Collision from Thursday?
This is a C. I don't know what the frick you on right now. No. I don't know what the frick you is on right now. But as the go home show of Double or Nothing, and we have a freaking CMLL freaking match out on none of these jokers, and then we have freaking Mercedes Moné facing some chick from freaking CMLL for 5 minutes, and then AR Fox gets squashed again, and then we everything, we forgot all this, and then we ended with Speedball. Freaking that was fine. We ended with a freaking main event of Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Commander versus Roosh and his brother. This is a C. I don't know what the frick he was on. This is a C.
Oh man. Well, unfortunately, since there's only 2 of us, it's hard to break a tie or anything. So we don't have a
Dolores, are you still in the chat? You're the tiebreaker. Dolores, you the tiebreaker. Who won?
Whoever's in the chat, let us know who you thought had the best show this week. Collision from Saturday, Dynamite from Wednesday, or Collision from Thursday. Let us know what you guys think.
And you got 2 minutes because ain't nobody trying to wait for y'all.
So, but by default, technically, I gave Collision and Dynamite from Saturday the same score, or Dynamite and Collision from Saturday the same score. You gave Dynamite from the best score. So in theory, technically, we both gave Dynamite. I mean, in theory, 2 of us gave it the high. You gave it a high score. I gave it the same score. So in theory, Dynamite would technically get the win. But as I'm sure you think it should.
Yes. But if you're in the chat, you can help us out here.
We'll give it a minute or 2 to see if anyone in the chat has a comment on who they think won.
You can do some house cleaning while we're waiting.
Yeah, and in the meantime, make sure and join us tomorrow, Sunday, for AEW Double or Nothing watch along. I don't know exactly who will be there, but there will be some workhorse members there providing a watch along. So make sure and join us for that. I think the main card starts at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, as usual. I'm sure there is a 0 hour. I'm sure it probably starts at 4 o'clock. So we will not be doing the 0 hour as part of our watch along stream, but we will be joining when the main card starts. So again, we'll do a little bit of house cleaning in the meantime. Let's see, every Tuesday night, join us for the Cookout, where we all come together and talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling. That's every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Let's see, it does look like we got a chat. Dolores says, yes, it's hard, but Dynamite was better with the promo battle. Okay.
Don't be a
So Dolores is our tiebreaker. Hold on, go ahead. What were you gonna say, Anika?
Thank you. That's it. Don't punk out showing on the screen.
All right, so yeah, Dolores says Dynamite should get the win because of the promo battle. So as Anika likes to do, our winner for this week is AEW Dynamite. And I believe they won last week too, if I'm not mistaken. So, last week we had Dynamite by itself. We had the match. We had the match. But before that, they did beat Collision in the first week that we did do this. So this is our third week of doing this. So let's see. That was the Cookout. We'll continue with the housekeeping. Friday night fights every Friday night. Anika and somebody, usually Sammy Joe, but definitely Anika, will be watch SmackDown in real time, starting at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, giving you their real-time reactions and opinions to the show. So join us every Friday for that. On Saturday mornings, which are with us here now, we have the Winner's Circle, where we review AEW Collision and AEW Dynamite and tell you which show we think was the better show from the week as we grade each show. If you want to, please scan this QR code. That will take you to Linktree. And from Linktree, you can get to all of our social media from one place. We are on all of the social media platforms you see on the screen. So please come check us out there. Love to interact with you guys. The best part of Workhorse Wrestling Network is the fans and the people that support us. So we want to hear from you guys on everywhere that we are. So come check us out everywhere that you see on the screen. Let's see. Last but not least, you can check out the audio version of the Cookout podcast on these podcast platforms. If you don't have time to sit and watch the Cookout on Tuesday nights, you can always go back and catch just the audio version while you're driving in your car, while you're doing your chores, while you're working out, whatever you want to do. You can listen to our golden vocal cords, and we will keep you company while you do whatever it is you're doing. So, unless there's anything else to be said by Miss Anika, we'll do what Dolores does and cut out the lights. Anything else? Nope. All right. We'll cut out those lights, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for AEW Double or Nothing.